Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Hail Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you enjoy what you see and want to see more. Coming up, Super League Round 21 review. Yes, it's early in the week. That's Round 22. Comes up on Monday. Now, I'm going to summarise this game up quite easily. Wigan are without Sam Powell and Bevan French from their starting lineup. Leeds Rhinos are without quite a lot of their first team, whether it's injuries, suspensions. Mikołaj Jalecki, how about Luke Gale, and they had some returning youngsters. Helens was out as well, so they weren't the best. But these two are supposedly big teams in rugby league and should have the squads to go with it. So, in the 22nd minute of the first half, the first real incident happened when Liam Farrell was high tackled by Dane Tetevano, and he was sent for a sin bin for 10 minutes. And we get up to the 31st minute after a break by Jackson Hastings. Tetevano was returning to the field, but Luce Briscoe was sent for a yellow card, which was never a yellow card in a million years, after a professional foul on Jackson Hastings, a late tackle. Right, not square, and preventing a quick play. Oh, it was on Liam Farrell. Liam Farrell was the player who picked it up from half back, and the referee deemed that Luke Briscoe came away from marker before the ball was late and took him down while offside, stopping a try scoring opportunity. Leeds, don't get me wrong, have been battering the door, got into good positions, and it wasn't for desperation defence before the two yellow cards and in between the yellow cards. They would have been ahead. They were the better team. But it wasn't saying too much, as both teams devoid of fucking intent. But while the second yellow card going on, Brad Dwyer scores for Leeds to open the scoring on the 35th minute of the game. A kick from inside the Wigan 10 from Cruz Leeming, bounced off the post protector and sits up nicely for Dwyer to score. Reece Martin converts to make it 6-0, and that's how it was at half time. But there was 20 minutes there where Leeds were down to 12 men, and Wigan, through mistakes and penalties against them or stupid plays, did not do anything. They were also devoid of any platform to report on. And what happens in the second half? Nothing really for Wigan side, because they were nilled. They were nilled throughout the entire game. And Leeds went in again on the 46th minute. Leeds punish an error and swiftly go on to the attack, and Reece Martin breaks the line, and the ball is being shipped back inside for Myler to finish right to the post, which Reece Martin converts to make 12-0. Wigan's defence is still holding firm now that Leeds are back to 13 men, but in attack they were impotent. Knock-ons, penalties, obstructions, not getting to the right positions. Even Jackson Hastings wasn't getting as much of the ball or getting the ball in the right positions. Don't get me wrong, Leeds have done what Saints did. They targeted Hastings because that's where playing was coming from. That was it. Jay Fields looks lightweight, I'm afraid, and he's basically a winger in my eyes. He's not a fullback. He's not a scrum, a half back, unless he's yet to play at half back to get the ball in his hands. But he's wearing that number 6. Leeds extend their lead to 14-0 as a penalty goes over after King Vuniyayawa, who's going to Salford next season, is caught with a high tackle in front of the post, and Reece Martin's. But there's nothing else in this game apart from a bit of possession from Wigan. There's a knock-on from. That's it, really. Tell a lie, there's one little bit. Wigan do get over the try, but he's held up. But the referee goes to the video referee anyhow, Jake Bibby. And he's given no try. It's on the last, so Leeds get the ball back. There is no platform from the forwards being created. There is no offensive patterns. They're waiting until they get into the 40, which if they're causing too many handling errors, this is all about Wigan, by the way. If they're causing handling errors getting up to the 40 or giving penalties away in that 40-metre area, it's nullifying any attempts to win any attack. Liverpool. Few stats for you. In 11 halves of games, so that's 11 games this season, halves, that'll tell a lie, last 2 included, last 3, Wigan have not scored any points. When was the last time you heard that Wigan had not scored any points in 11 halves of the league? Or tries. Next. Wigan are on roughly. Now this one is the most concerning one. Wigan, 16.9 points per game before this game played against Leeds. In 4th place, Leeds Centurions, 16.8 points per game, 14th place. Now I'm not saying that that is where the problem is, as there are multiple in Wigan Rugby League. It's fine, but it's one of the big ones. 16.9 points per game versus 16.8 for a team 10 places below us, below Wigan. Not you, but it's concerning for someone, for a team even that finished finished top of the Super League last year and got to the grand final. Unfortunately, he gets beat in that grand final. I don't think Adrian Lamb's recovered from. Saints grand final hero Jack Wellsby scored a brace as he left the Totally Wicked Stadium as Leeds' chief tormentor, as the Centurions were unable to kick on from their first win of the season as they suffered a 42 points to 12 defeat to St Helens. As well as the 2 tries, Wellsby had a hand in 2 others as the defending champions had scored the bottom club 7 tries to 2. In a pulsating and bruising first half, Lee were more than a match for Saints, but they went in 12 points to 6 behind despite having a lot of possession. An early Regan Grace try and a penalty from Lachlan Coote saw the Saints lead 8-0, but the visitors refused to lie down and they had plenty of chances to score before Matty G barged over to reduce the deficit to 2. Lee continued to take the game to St Helens, but a lapse in concentration 8 minutes before half-time saw Wellsby cross to give them a 6-point advantage going into the break. Second half scores from Wellsby, Sione Matautia, Lachlan Coote, Joe Batchelor and Lewis Dodds saw Saints make it back-to-back wins in the Betfred Super League, although the Centurions did manage to score a second half try in the night through Adam Sidlow. It was a bruising encounter as Saints have lost Johnny Lomax for an undisclosed amount of time as he went off during the game. He left in pain. Lomax was helped on from the field in the second half with a leg problem, and although the loss of halfback did not have an effect on the game, he could be missing for a number of weeks. He copped something in around this hamstring region, said his coach Christian Wolf, and it was a funny one with him getting caught in an awkward position. Don't know how bad it is, we'll know in a few days. He's one of our best players. Whether it's one game, 2 games, or whatever it is, he'll be a big loss. All signs are that we won't have him on next Monday at least. So I'm going to say this now. This one was a turn up for the books, as Wakefield Trinity fought back from 12-0 down to put the Robins playoff plans in disarray with 4 games remaining. Struggling Wakefield, 1 place off the foot of the table, did the double over their higher placed opponents, who failed to bounce back from a single-point deficit defeat to city rivals Hull FC last time out. Rovers looked unlike the team that forced their way into the top 6 and suffered a disappointing defeat against a side well marshalled by scrum half Mason Lino, who converted all 4 of his side's tries. The home side made a fast start with the game's first try, but had no answer in the second half to Wakefield's response. Rovers claimed the first try after 4 minutes as Lewis Johnston crashed over from close range, with Ben Crooks adding the extras for a 6-0 lead. Rovers should have had a second try, but Jimmy Kindhorse could not get hold of Greg Minikin's pass with the line at his mercy with 20 minutes on the clock. Rovers exerted concerted pressure on the Wakefield line and finally got their second try their dominance deserved as George Lawler exploited a gap for Brad Takarangi, offloaded in the tackle 15 minutes before the break. Wakefield needed a response and Jacob Miller provided it as he ran in from a pass from Kalepi Tanganoa, with Lino's conversion reducing the deficit to 4 points with half an hour to go. But half an hour gone, sorry. They were then given a gift when Mikey Lewis's kick for touch went out on the full, but a knock-on handed the ball back to the home side, only for the favour to be returned shortly after. Takarangi was penalised for tackling a player off the ball, and Wakefield made him pay as Ryan Hampshire won the race for Lino's grubber kick to touchdown as half-time approached. Lino put the visitors ahead for the first time at 12 points to 10, and they held the advantage to the break. Wakefield started the second half on top as Rovers' defence started to creak, but they managed to release the pressure as David Fafita took the wrong option as he passed forward when he should have gone alone just short of the line. Crooks levelled the game back with a penalty for the first points of the second half, 8 minutes after the restart. It used to be a trend in Super League, 6 to 8 minutes after the half time, that team was on to win, usually, when scoring. Wakefield reclaimed the lead when they pounced on a loose ball from Takarangi, and Tom Johnson set up Innis Senior to run in and score under the post for the visitors' third try, Lino kicking the conversion to make it 18 points to 12, like I said, usually. Rovers were in disarray, and Wakefield's fourth try came from Jay Pitts as they slid in from following Lino's pass, with Lino kicking the fourth kick, doubling the advantage to 12 points with little over 20 minutes of play of the game remaining. Rovers responded with a try from Crooks, and he added extras to bring his side within a converted score of their opponents. Rovers kept Wakefield pinned in their own half for most of the final 10 minutes. Despite their best efforts, they were struggling to break down the visitors' defence. And Jacob Miller's late drop goal with a little over a minute to go made the game safe and sent the home fans in a crowd of 6,439 heading for the exit. It got worse for Rovers as forward Dean Hadley suffered a shoulder injury which saw him go off in the final minute. So Catalans cemented their grip at the top of the Betfred Super League with a first win against Salford Red Devils at the AJ Bell Stadium since 2016. Benjamin Julian scored twice in the first half and James Maloney kicked 7 goals as the Dragons impressively controlled the game almost from start to finish to run out 42 points to 14 victors. Catalans have lost just twice in Super League this season and called off their previous games with Warrington a week ago at short notice due to COVID issues. While Salford played as recently as last Sunday. The French team was certainly the sharper and quicker of the two teams in the opening exchanges, and Julian claimed his first try in the 10th minute after taking a well-timed pass from Maloney, which gave him a clear run to the try line with from 10 metres. This one, Maloney could not convert. Salford, who in their last outing became the first team to be beaten by Super League's bottom club, the Centurions, crafted promising openings in the 17th minute when a Chris Aiken kick to the corner created panic in the defence of the Dragons, but Rhys Williams could not get the pass away to the supporting Dan Sargentson. Julian got his second try 14 minutes before half-time, and it was a simple score, picking up a loose Salford pass and racing 14 metres to the try line. Maloney added the conversion to make it 10-0. Back-to-back 6-again Claxons for Salford on the back foot, and Catalans took a full advantage with Michael Gudemon scoring by the post from close range. With 3 minutes left in the half, Salford gets off the mark. Danny Addy and Tuiloa here combined well with the ball in the hand to create an opening for Harvey Levette to charge through and score in the corner. Tristan Inu's conversion reduced the deficit to 10. However, they were hit with a sucker punch seconds before the half-time when Dragons forward Sam Cassiano thundered over after hitting a short ball at tremendous pace. Maloney's goal made it 22 points to 6 to the visitors at half-time. Salford started the second half brightly, with Sargentson winning the race to ground the ball after successive kicks ahead by Aitken and Williams. Inu was unable to add the goal this time. A high tackle by Catalans hooker Michael McAlorum on Salford's Ryan Lannon in the 64th minute resulted in a yellow card for the visitors. Despite being a man down, Catalan, who lost their last 4 visits at the AJ Bell Stadium, added to their lead thanks to a James Maloney penalty. Some quick passing on the line ended with a Tom Davies score, scoring Catalan's 5th try in the 57th minute, and Maloney converted brilliantly from touch to make it 30 points to 10. Joe Chan cashed in on some indecisive Salford defence after a high kick from Tompkins to score Catalan's next try, and Maloney made no mistake with that conversion. With the game beginning to stutter to the finish, Salford claimed their 3rd try through former Catalans fullback Morgan Ascare, although Inu was unfortunate not to convert this one. And as the hoot sounded, Catalans claimed their final try when Sami Soni-Langi went in from close range and Maloney slotted over the goal. Former Huddersfield centre Jake Malmo touched down twice to out-condemn his former club to a 26 points to 6 defeat at the John Smith Stadium. Malmo registered his 13th and 14th try of a dazzling campaign in the 11th first half minutes, as Steve Price's Warrington visitors gave an emphatic response to their defeat at struggling Wakefield last time out. To complete an unforgettable night for Ian Watson's Giants, Huddersfield-born Toby King grabbed a late touchdown for the wire, and Stephen Ratchford kicked 5 goals. Warrington's 12th win in 17 games gave them third position, but this League Leaders Shield remains destined for Catalan Dragons or St Helens. Giants were 2022 winners when the sides last met at the Halliwell Jones Stadium back in May, but once Malmo scored his first try against the runner Blake, home chances of a league double quickly unravelled. Malmo had already come to the wire rescue on his own try line, hacking clear under pressure from Josh Jones. Minutes later, he finished off his team's first notable attack, fashioned by Chris Hill, Jack Hughes, and a final pass from Josh Bulis. Ratchford kicked the first goals to make it 6-0. Wakefield bounced on Lynham, also crossed the line for the home line, but his joy was short-lived as James Charles adjudged Ratchford's pass to be forward. There was no dispute about Warrington's second touchdown after 28 minutes. Huddersfield's midfield defence fell away and Gareth Widdop broke through, but did not have the legs to outrun the cover from halfway after collecting Will Price's grubber. However, Malmo was too speedy for Jake Wardle's eventual tackle to increase his hopes of finishing the competition as the top try scorer. Ratchford goaled from the touchline. Chris McQueen did well to drag down Malmo before Castleford bound Malmo completed his hat-trick, but he held on to the wire danger man too long and paid with a minute. Ratchford kicked the penalty to give the visitors a 14-0 interval lead. McQueen returned with no addition to the score, but no hint of either to eating into the Wolves' commanding lead. It was game over 12 minutes from time as prop Mike Cooper latched onto Widdop's rubber kick to touchdown by the posts, which Ratchford also converted to make it 20-0. With an embarrassing whitewash looming, Wardle climbed highest to catch an Ollie Russell's bomb and grab a 72nd minute consolation. Russell goaled the kick. But the last word belonged to Warrington, as King ended a final wire attack to score his team's 4th try. So this was a great game for the neutrals, to be honest. Castleford claimed a highly impressive 23 points to 12 over the playoff rivals Hull FC to register their 4th successive Super League win. Former Hull player Jordan Turner touched down twice during the first half, and Danny Richardson and Niall Evans added further tries after the break. Brett Hodgson's hosts scored either side of half-time through Adam Swift and Jake Connor, but the visitors were not to be denied and ran out worthy winners. Chris Sarte and Mane Fanoa returned to the Hull starting side as replacements from Joe Cater and Josh Reynolds, who were absent after sustaining season-ending injuries during Saturday's derby win over OKR. Ben McNamara was brought into the side after replacing Josh Reynolds at standoff, leaving Jake Connor at fullback. There was also a slight knee injury under Jamie Shawls. It was his other knee this time, so did not expect him to be out too long, but he did that early in the game, which is impressive that he was able to complete that game. Castleford named a unchanged side for this game following last weekend's derby win against their local rivals Wakefield. Breach Hull defence after the 4th minute opener when Paul McShane fought on Turner, who crashed over from close range. Richardson added the conversion to make it 6-0, but the Tigers lost McShane soon after through injury. It turned out to be an abdominal injury, which he was asked about on the touchline by Jenna Brooks, and he said, "It's abdominal injuries. I didn't know I had abs." Funny guy. Good on him. Laughing through the pain. It was through a tackle, which was initially attempted to play on before, well, it was in a tackle, should I say, and he attempted to play on, but he was in so much pain he had to be replaced by Adam Hill. The momentum then swung in Hull's favour when Connor's fine pass sent Swift over in the left corner for an impressive finish, which Sneed converted to make it 6-6. Midway through the first half, imposing Hull second rower Manu Mao took a short pass from Sneed and attempted to ground the ball. Referee Ben Baylor signalled no try, and video referee Robert Hicks confirmed that the Hull man was just short of the line as Castleford survived before being dealt a blow in the 25th minute when Liam Watt was sin-binned. The try for the Hulls, which was called up to the video referee, was called because there was a suspected double movement in the action. If that had happened, it would have been a penalty to Castleford. That's why they called it up. The former Hull prop Watt was deemed by Thaler to have made a dangerous tackle on Jordan Lane. It was actually a trip, but yes, still dangerous. But in the 30th minute, a drop goal by Richardson edged Castleford ahead 7 points to 6. 3 minutes later, Richardson attempted to dart over the line on the last tackle, but great defence from Connor, showing his defensive prowess, was to hold up the former St Helens man to pull the turnover. Hull saw centre Carlos Tuamavavi depart through injury before Castleford struck a second try on the 37th minute when Greg Eden found Turner with a superb pass and he burst clear down the left flank to score. He stepped inside and had the power enough to go past the covering tackle from Hull. Good try. Richardson added the extras to make it 13 points to 6, and Watts almost barreled over early in the second half. Richardson fired over a penalty in the 57th minute, and on the hour mark, he dived over in the right corner for a try which he could not convert. Still, Castleford led 16 points to 6 before Connor took a fine pass from Cameron Scott to cross the line in the 64th minute, and Sneed's conversion made it 16 points to 12. But with 5 minutes remaining, Evels escaped the Hull defence inside the right channel to score, and Richardson converted before Scott Taylor and George Griffin were sin-binned on a late following a melee. It was a push. But Castleford get the win, 4 and a bounce. So that's it for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, comments on the format. Any feedback was brilliant. I appreciate everyone who's answered so far. Also, what's your thoughts of those 3 games? Which one's the best Super League performance of round 21? I won't say anything about the Leeds Wigan game because Marwan Kugac keeps saying that all over his social media. Anyway, I'll say thank you very much for watching. All the best, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.